I'm back again with my everyday look, so let's get right on to it. So firstly, I moisturize my face using the Rooibos Moisturizer. It does the work. It gives me the right moisture that I actually need. I then apply my LA Girl Pro Primer, which works like magic. It makes sure it seals out all the oils and my makeup stays longer for the day. And then I start on with my eyebrows. I made sure that firstly I brush them with a spoolie brush, and then I take my brown eyebrow pencil and start lining just right under my eyebrow. So the trick about getting perfect eyebrows, it's making sure that your eyebrows are twist well. It makes the job easier, and it makes your eyeliner draw nicely and more precise. So I just do that. I started from the end of my eyebrow going to the inner part of my eyebrow. I then as well line from the top of my eyebrow, and then I start filling them in with the brown eyebrow pencil. Some people like using the brow powder or brown eyeshadow, but I think my eyebrow pencil works for me. I then take my LA Girl Pro concealer in the shade Fawn, and I'm using my concealer brush to clean out my eyebrow and as well to define the shape that I want. At this point, you also want to figure out on what size you want your eyebrow to be at, what shape, how high you want the cave to be. So yeah, so for me the Pro Concealer from on the shade Fawn is the perfect shade for my skin tone because it's not too bright. It's just the right amount of light that I want, and it's got this nice orange undertone as well that makes it easy to blend. And for the top part, I usually use my foundation because it helps me to blend well when I'm actually applying foundation on my whole face. So the foundation that I'm currently using and enjoying is the water-based foundation from NYX in the shape Deep Olive. I live for it, guys, because what happens is that my foundation stays longer without being shiny because it's water based. And then what I do, my next step is actually just applying that concealer that I was using to shape my eyebrows in the shade Fawn all over my eye. I use it as a base for my eyeshadow, and as well it makes it easy for me to actually blend out from the part where I was doing my eyebrow. So yeah, I just even it all out, guys, English, right? So I just even it all out right to my eye. I then just take a sponge, I just pat just to make sure everything is blending well so that I also don't have those harsh lines. I then use baby powder to actually make it matte or to make it blend or to set it, and then take a brush, one of my blending eyeshadow brushes, and I just clean that out. I then take a brush. I'm just gonna list, I don't know what the names of these brushes are, but I'm just gonna list them out on the description box below. So I'm using my Jacylin palette, which I enjoy and love using. So yeah, you saw the color that I picked out. I still don't know what color is that one because I actually not written on the palette. I start from the crease of my eye, and I just like just to shade it out. I'm just taking small amounts, so I keep on reapplying until I get the amount of eyeshadow on I want on my eye, or the amount of color that I want. So I'm just still applying on the crease of my eye. You can do this back and forth until you actually get the shade that you want or the right amount of eyeshadow you want. And then I start blending it out. Blending it out is so important for eyeshadow. So I'm using another brush just to take off the harsh lines to where the eyeshadow was actually ending. And then I'm taking this shade, it's more like a purplish. I'm still using the same brush because also helps me that my eyeshadows actually blend well together. Yeah, so I'm patting this one. I'm actually not really applying it through, so I'm just tapping or dabbing or just petting or pecking it to my eyelid. So yeah, until there's that transition from the one I put earlier, or the first one that I put, to the one that I'm applying now. So I keep on putting until I get the right amount that I want. You can do this back and forth until you get the amount that you need. And then I take that color because I felt like it was fading away, so that I go back to the crease of my eye and just reapply it, just to give that nice transition. And then I do the other eye as well, so that anyway my eyes look the same. Once I'm done with that, I take the brush again, the other blending eyeshadow brush, and fluff everything out, or blend everything out until I'm happy that everything that, oh, I don't have harsh lines on my eyeshadow. And then the hard part to do on camera, is applying liquid liner, guys. I struggled, but yeah, I think I tried, and I think you get the idea basically how I do it. So I'm using the liquid liner from Essence. It's working for me. It's amazing. It's quite affordable. I think it's under 60 rand, so it's quite affordable and lasts longer. And unlike whatever we're using to apply it, because it's quite precise. It's not too thick, it's just the right size. So especially if you want to do a cat eye, it works better. So yeah, as you can see, guys, I'm struggling, but I think you get the idea, and you guys can see how I apply the liner, or how you can try out to apply liquid liner, because I know most of us actually struggle with applying a liquid liner. So yeah, I'm just making sure the liquid liner, or it's quite a little bit thick, because I'm just using one shade of eyeshadow, and I want to make my eyes pop out, so that's why the liquid liner is a little bit thick than I usually put it. Yeah, and you just see at the end how it's gonna look like. Yeah, so tell me how you usually apply your liquid liner, and what you use. Are you using liquid liner or a pencil, whatever? But now I'm cleaning it all out, because I just didn't like how it was so not precise, how it was so thick. So you can clean that out using concealer. So the one that I was using for my eyebrows is the one that I'm using a concealer brush, and I'm cleaning it out there, and I'm just making sure that it's like a cat eye, which I like a lot, and just doing the same with the other eye. Yeah, and yeah, I think that looks a little bit better. Yeah. Tell me when you're trying out, or I know now they have like this iPads, not like an iPad, iPhone, or Apple device. Yeah, so you can use that just to make sure that your eye is cleaned out. So now I'm applying this concealer under my eyes, because my eyes look a little bit dark and a little bit baggy. Yeah, so any dark spots that I have, I'm actually applying it there. It's more like a color corrector, so that when I'm applying my foundation, everything just looks flawless. Yeah, now we're back to the water-based foundation from Kryolan in the shade Fawn, and I'm using the foundation brush just to apply it. It's so easy to apply. As you can see, when I'm covering the concealer, everything just looks perfect and concealed. And I like this foundation because it's so matte, and it's got this total coverage, and it lasts the whole day. I don't have to be worried about my foundation being cakey and all that. It's absolutely perfect. So I think that looks good. I'm just making sure that everything is blending well, there are no harsh lines, and I'm happy with that. I then take my sponge, I just blend everything out just by tapping to make sure that everything looks good. Now it's time for highlighting. So I'm still using the concealer from Eyebrow in the shade Fawn. I'm starting to highlight from my under eye to the top of my cheekbones. That's where I actually want my face to look more highlighted or more exaggerated, or where I want people to focus on, or where I want when I'm taking a picture or a selfie, that's where I want everything to stand out. So, and I'm applying as well on my chin, just to give that chiseled face, or just that chiseled chin, and as well at the bridge of my nose here, to kind of like give my nose plastic surgery kind of look without having to spend so much. So yes, and to the my forehead, because I have like a young big forehead, so I need to make sure that my forehead looks smaller. So I just apply just a small amount on my forehead to give my forehead that nice look. I think I'm happy with that. I then take my contour. I'm using the palette from Beauty Secrets. No, sorry, Beauty Treat. Can be found at Discam. I don't remember how much I got it for because I've had it for a while. But I think it was around 60 rand, not more than 60 rand. Yeah, so you can use drugstore makeup and still look fab. You don't have to spend thousands and thousands. So yeah, and then I'm contouring just under my cheekbones, on my forehead, and now just on the side of the bridge of my nose to give the highlight, or to make the highlight pop out more, or to make sure that my nose just looks smaller. That's the whole idea. So yeah, I'm using a concealer brush because it's more precise and I can apply just the right amount of product that I need on my nose, because you just don't want too much there, because it'll be so hard to blend out, or the product will just go into places that you wouldn't want it to go to. So I'm actually happy with that. I think it looks good. And then I take my blending brush, and I start blending out the highlight. And this brush is so fluffy and it makes the job quite easy. So I make sure that everything is blended out, because you don't want to look ashy, or you don't want the harsh lines to show. So I first blend out using the brush. Some blend out so much sorries, but it's okay because it's English. Next time I'll do a video in Ndebele or Zulu or whatever. So yeah, then some actually use a sponge to blend everything out. I prefer the brush because it makes the foundation actually set in and blend perfectly. So now I'm blending out the contour, and I'm using the blending brush, the eyeshadow blending brush, to blend on the side of my nose, because it's quite fluffy, it's quite small, it's more precise. And yeah, as you can see, it does a great, perfect job, which I'm actually happy with. I hope you are too. And then now, just to make sure everything is blending out, I just take the brush that I was using to blend everything out. I just softly brush through my face to make sure everything is looking good, flawless. And then the exciting part, baking. And I enjoy baking using baby powder. That is quite cheap, quite accessible. I'm sure you have it at your house right now. So I use baby powder. Why do we use baby powder anyway? We use baby powder on kids so to keep them dry, so they don't get rash and so forth. So this is the best way, or the easiest affordable way to do baking, because now it's gonna keep your face or your foundation matte and less oily as the day goes by, and you don't have to reapply so much powder during the day. So it works perfect. It's going to keep you dry for a long time, besides the fact that it actually smells nice. So yeah, I'm highlighting the same places that I highlighted using concealer, and then now I'm contouring. So I'm using the powder from Essence, I think in the shade Nutmeg, to contour, and I'm using this the contouring brush. So I'm just tapping it as well, not just applying too much, because already I have contoured using cream or using the concealer, and I'm just shaping my face to give it a more structured look. And I'm taking the blending brush, the blending eyeshadow brush, to actually contour on the side of my nose, or to contour my nose. As you can see, is why I like to use it, because it's more precise. At this moment, while I'm baking, because I leave it for about 2 to 5 minutes, this is the perfect time I actually apply mascara, so that should there be any smudging or any fall off or whatever, it actually falls on the powder, and I can brush it out. It won't stick to my face. So I started using the Kryolan mascara because it has got like small bristles, and I use the essence because it's more bigger and it actually gives that volume that I want for my eyelashes. And I'm now applying the liner, the black eyebrow pencil under the eye. Guys, that's so difficult, you know. I also have watery eyes, but yeah, now I think I've mastered it. I don't cry that much anymore. And then I'm applying mascara as well, so that it actually matches my eyelashes at the top. Now I'm using the NYX finishing powder just to brush it off, the baby powder or the baking. I'm using this powder to brush it out because it's got this like a bronzing effect. I hope you can see it, guys, because it looks so great this side. So I'm using to brush it out so that it also doesn't leave harsh lines, and it works out perfectly. Funny how we always make this mouth when we applying makeup, you know. And then now I'm taking that Essence Nutmeg, just going on top of my contour to have everything to blend out. So I'm just brushing through to where I contoured with this nice amazing powder. And I also think it's affordable because I don't think, oh, it was like 40 something rand. So yeah, you go check it out at discount. Yeah, while I'm happy with that, then I take like a powder brush that I just run through my face just to set everything nicely. Now it's time for bronzing. So now it's time for bronzing, and I'm using this nice bronze. I'm just gonna add it on the description box. Yeah, on that shade that is, I think it's Sunset, and I'm using the contouring brush. Okay, I'm not applying a lot because it's more like on my everyday look, day look. So I don't want it too much or too harsh. That's why I'm using contour brush. And then I'm taking my blush as well, just going where I contoured and just right under, and it overlaps to the bronzer so that there are no harsh lines and everything mates well. And I just take it up to the side of my eye so that there's nice color and nice structure to my face. Yeah, and I keep applying, just brushing, just keep on tapping. I then take out my powder brush again, just blend everything out. It's not too much, it's not too little, it's just the right amount of blush that I want. Then finally I take my setting spray from NYX, which works like magic because it's dewy. I love that. And I'm taking my lip gloss from Essence. It's also great because it's also cheap. I like affordability. Yeah, that's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please follow me on all my social media platforms. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. It's bye for now.